Okay, for those of you who don't comprehend how God is speaking to us through the religious texts like the Bible, let's go through the Bible here just real quick, the beginning of it. Hello, Pope, by the way. Hi, Pope. Um, Genesis 1 is the God in the garden. God, male and female are created. They give us herb with seed and fruit with seed, and all is good, and that's the sixth day, right? The seventh day comes, and it starts to deteriorate. So, it's God says, Adam, start labeling things, right? But see, that's the thing is God took a break. You got to remember that, and so then in Genesis 3, so Adam labels things, and then they recreate the whole story of Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 and say there's a woman who's pulled out a man's ribs and now is a servant to man. And it's like it gets a little crazy right there. And then Genesis 3, Eve eats with the snake and curses everybody, and you see that they say everyone's going to be divided. You'll have pain in childbirth. You'll have the division between brothers that we all know very well. And you're gonna toil in the fields and eat from the herb of the field instead of the herb with seed and the fruit with seed that I handed you in the garden, right? And so then they go to Noah, and and God says to Noah, you know what? I'm gonna flood this whole planet and kill everybody. So get two of each animal and keep them alive, right? Get them all in the boat and keep them alive. Get enough food for them, keep them alive. And then Noah gets off the boat, he goes through the flood, gets off the boat, and what's the first thing he does? Builds an altar and slaughters animals. And God says, oh, I see evil is in man's hearts, and I'm not going to curse the rest of the world again. I'm just going to leave it to man. And so, man, I'm making a covenant with you. So you're going to go ahead and eat all the animals, and they're going to be terrified of you. And you're going to, then because you eat the animals, they're going to eat you and kill you. And then you're also going to fight and kill each other. And whoever kills each other is going to die the same way, right? And then it goes further into the Bible and just keeps this God and man keeps failing. Then Noah gets drunk and curses his children and then causes division and says Canaan's going to be the slave. And then they go to Abraham, and Abraham is just a complete mess by that time. Everybody thinks Abraham's great, but Abraham's a complete mess. And laughs at God, and so God says, I'm going to give you a son named Isaac, means laughter in Hebrew, he's going to be the father of all nations, right? That's a curse. It's not a blessing, because what nations are divided. So we're going for unity here, Genesis 1 unity, and so that book goes all the way through until until we get to the New Testament, and then they slaughter the chosen one, right? And then they get to the Revelations that say we're going to go back to the garden, right? So the book is the fall of man, and it's not a book to follow. It's a book of what happens when man defies God. So it's been a little reinterpreted, right, by the Pope, the rabbis, all the religious figures that eat animal flesh and just aren't paying attention to the first chapter that says, here's what I gave you to eat. And then, I'm going to take a break and then see what happens, right? So it's actually a completely different concept than everybody's been carrying for thousands of years. And once you look at it that way, it becomes really dark and kind of terrifying. So anyway, to all those people that say, is there a middle ground? No, there's not a middle ground for God. God said no violence. This is what I gave you to eat. And we're completely failing God. 78 years old. We used to live to 930, 950 years old. So anyway, God bless.